I found your ladyship's attitude surprising. The answers to those questions are no concern of yours.
On my knees, I beg you, without my husband knowing.
I think you'd be exceedingly ill-advised not to make an effort.
Do your worst. You will not have a penny from me, coward!
I hear from them only seldom. They wish to spare me their misery, I think. His name. He has a high regard for your sense of justice. It is the only clue I can offer you. Maybe it will help. I wish nothing for myself, Mr. Holmes. It is too late for that. I wish only to save others.
$3.45 for London.
I felt great sadness there. To think that that house must have reverberated to the sounds of those boys growing up.
Don't whisper of him. Yet no one has put a name to him.
Well, there's no mention of blackmail, even a whisper in the newspaper account.
You have report of it?
Of her two grandchildren, George, the elder, prostitute, they've been discovered in flagrante delicto by a third party.
As usual, the sensational press has got it wrong. What?
Edward. Now, in revenge for his brother, took a revolver to the foot, disfigured for life. After the trial, he disappeared.
It is Vike we must find to lead us to our prize. Mrs. Hudson, are you not well?
Of course I'm well.
Then please, I hate the smell of cabbage.
Surely the brothers would know their tormentor.
The elder brother fled the country in disgrace. Edward joined him, having served his sentence. They're now living wretchedly somewhere in France. Goodbye, Mrs. Hudson. Thank you. There is one curiosity. But later. I'd prefer you to direct your energies towards the gossip columns. The grasslands. The grasslands, Watson, through which our serpent glides.
Do tell us where you're going, Charlotte.
Oh, yes, do tell.
Lottie, where are you going? Shall I? Dearest.
What's that for them?
Tell them where we're going for our honeymoon.
I've no objections.
It's Budley Salterton.
Oh, Rome.
You may, Daphne, but if one's fate is to marry a soldier, abroad may well be one's whole life.
And your honeymoon, Lady Eva? No. Duties forbid. A regimental dinner, alas. Ladies.
Lottie, he is...
Tea?
That is gleaming when a tremulous glow spreads o'er the fields of grain. Streaming doth arise, a behest to explore the utmost joy of being in this day of my youth, and while the evenings fair, for we shall all depart, as goes yon water free, that to the sea. Compared to the schoolgirl will get me, filled to the brim with girlish glee. 3 little maids from school, everything is also fun.
What is this? It's not in my hand.
My dear Colonel, you don't expect me to give you the original, do you?
Where did you get this? Who gave it to you?
Oh, well. Who but the object of your affections?
I don't believe it.
Part with a penny! I'll see you in hell first!
Think of your lovely bride, Colonel.
What have you done to me?
One has to ask oneself, how much butter can one eat?
Dottie Melsham, apparently, got 17 salt and pepper. Useless, she said to the Duchess of Teg to her face. It's true. Oh, well, Lily overheard her, didn't you, Lily?
Yes, m'lady.
Harry wanted us to be married at sea on a pirate ship with only the crew invited. But one really can't, can one?
No, my dear, one really can't.
I made an extremely foolish wager that I could outbox a young upstart of a dragoon.
And will you mend for the nuptials, my dear fellow, in 3 days? Be worth a small flutter in itself.
Bed socks, do you think? For cold feet?
I really hopes they won't be needed. Lottie, what is it?
I landed flat on my back in a sand dune. I know my grandmother. Then I brought her to tree, the old reprobate.
Lottie!
What's the trouble?
Some letters.
Mother's teeth.
Or is it goodbye, Budley Salterton?
I must go to her.
No, my angel.
Prince Murat is about to marry Baroness de Hagenlob. He lost his first wife, Princess Marie de Wagram, 10 years ago. Lord Rosebery has accepted an invitation to dine to a single item.
I shall react to assure you the moment you read out something which captures my...
The most important item in a woman's appearance this winter will be her headgear.
Yes.
Come to light the fire for you, sir.
Not at the moment, thank you.
Go away!
Inspector?
Sherlock Holmes? Yes, he's... This is Colonel Brooke.
Whose engagement to the Honourable Miss Miles was broken off yesterday. You see, I was listening. It's Lestrade.
Inspector!
Which arrived in that envelope. It was stolen from the rooms of Colonel John Dorr.
It was a personal note to me, Lestrade.
It's police evidence.
Because the note made it clear.
So, why should he write to you if he's topping himself? Did you know the man?
I had no knowledge of him.
Oh, answer my question. Or better still, show me the letter.
It'll tell you nothing.
Seems to be on the point of engaging you. He must have changed his mind.
And took a soldier's way out.
What does he mean by...
We'll never know, Inspector.
But he's engaged to be married, damn it. So it was blackmail, you'd say?
Well done, Lestrade.
No need for sarcasm, Mr. Holmes. You're as much in the dark as we are, then, about who this blackmailer might be.
You can be sure of one thing.
You will let me know if you hear of anything.
Idiot.
This came with the letter.
Charles Augustus Milverton. Appledore Towers, Hampstead, art dealer.
Camouflage.
See.
I've had to deal with 50 murderers in my career. But the worst of them never gave me this sense of revulsion that I feel at this moment. Towards Mr. Charles Augustus Milverton. Milverton's lair.
It's a fortress.
What circumstances might bring him to that?
Huh? Boy brought up in lonely isolation.
Why not Soho or Leicester Square?
Because, my dear Holmes, those places with all their vices teem with warmth.
Right, I have an assignment for you.
Since talking routine.
That is past, Watson. What we must do now is fasten ourselves onto his...
Engage him in conversation.
Yes, but with caution.
His lordship has been taken ill.
Wait a little. How bad is it?
Dr. Bailey is not optimistic. If he lives, he'll be paralyzed. Will you come and take care of me?
Of course.
Wait. Yes. Well, come in then.
Ah, Lady Eva Blackwell.
It occurs to me that I might not have been invited to this viewing, Holmes. What if I'm not admitted, huh? Holmes? patriarch of it.
I think she's a great honor.
The boys called you to perfection.
Idiot, Turner. I'm afraid.
My husband. Eva.
Forgive us.
A most beautiful lady.
What?
Lady Swinstead. I wonder, though, if he's quite got her mouth right.
Disaster.
Do I know you?
Yeah. You work for Milverton, don't you? Is he good there?
It would be if it weren't for the rugby plumbing.
Plumbing?
Of the spout. And it's always my fault.
Bob, look what you've done. Get off!
Aggie.
What's going on here? Liberties. I'm in charge here.
But we do need it done, Mr. Edworth. I mean, Mr. Milverton was only saying yesterday that there was a very ugly smell coming from the piping.
Very well. Carry on then.
Well,
Shame, isn't it?
he was a fine statesman, Watson. It was his diplomacy, I'm told, which eased Anglo-French relationships at a most delicate time some years back.
I think that I was there. I exchanged a word with him. A more calculatingly insincere smile I never hoped to see.
Charles Augustus.
He's described to me as a connoisseur in art matters, a businessman who can make or raise the fortunes of any artist to whom he devotes himself.
Stench of hell! Not the Diogenes. I heard of my brother Mycroft that he presented himself and was turned away with a flea in his ear. Your source of information?
Oh, a variety of sources. I applied your methods. How have you fared?
I've entered the fortress. I'm a plumber with a rising business, Escott by name. Oh, the butler, who goes under the name of Hebworth, is none other than Vike, the footman, who was shot in the face. I'm certain of it. Perhaps he was employed by Milverton as a reward for keeping his silence during the Croft scandal. I wonder. You got air compression in your soil pipes, Mr. Hebworth. That's the cause of the evil smell in this house. What this wants is a save-all below it, so the dirty water don't get clogged up.
What the devil are you doing here?
Oh, it's the plumber, sir.
There's no need of a plumber in this room. Get out.
Oh, this is not the special room. You're the pretty boys. Back up now. It'll be our fashions for at least. Now, wait.
Aggie.
Maximilian, it's my plumber.
Aggie?
I don't care if I do make him jealous. Great lump. Might fuck his ideas up.
I don't like your master.
No.
What was she after then?
I think you're getting a bit too curious.
Holmes, I've had an idea. A way in which we can bring this fellow Milverton within the grasp of the law. If we could tempt him to blackmail an innocent person, we should have him. Someone of our acquaintance. Then you and your plumbing persona could offer them for sale. And at the moment of transaction, Lestrade would be on hand to arrest him.
But legally...
There must be some way we can fight this devil.
There is. There is. Where can I find Monsieur Bertrand? Sherlock Holmes.
Good evening, monsieur. You see, I try to bring a little bit of Paris to London. Camille's method is simple.
Camille?
C-A-M, Cam.
Watson, you know, sometimes you absolutely amaze me.
He allows it to be known that he is prepared to pay very high sums for letters which compromise people of wealth and position.
You receive these letters from valets and maids?
Not only them. Sometimes, how do you say, genteel ruffians who have the confidence and affection of trusting women. No one knows where Camille's grip may fall.
And you are his agent, his conductor.
Me? No. We go back a number of years. Well, the people are stupid enough to trust their servants. Tell me about him.
Well, he needs to know the procedure. The matter is delicate.
Of course. It always is.
He's a personal physician to the Duke and Duchess of Landish.
Huh?
Now, this housemaid who came by recently.
She's here tonight.
At whose expense? Lady Eva Blackwell.
Engaged to the Earl of Dovercourt, they're to be married within weeks.
She must submit herself to our care. Somehow. Without delay.
How dare you come? I can't pay you. This is Mr. Milverton.
I'm honored to meet you, my lord.
What is your business here?
Business? Shall we share with his lordship our little secret, Lady Eva?
No.
As you wish. My card, sir.
Thank
you. Good day to you both.
Come and see me tonight.
What? Oh, Aggie.
With Dovercourt, I might.
Eva! Boy, get the horse. My godmother lives just over there. We could carry her if it's safe to lift the doctor.
Yes, there's nothing. Just fainted.
Darling?
I'm so sorry to be of so much trouble.
You lay where you are, my dear. You're in safe hands.
Thank you.
Lady Swinstead. All England shares in your grief. My colleague, Dr. Watson, is attending Lady Eva.
Poor child is very disturbed by the death of my husband.
There's nothing serious, Lady Swinstead, but I would advise you to make her rest and get her own doctor to see her.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Watson.
Lady Eva should need my services, please.
Eva.
It was Milverton who caused her fall. She saw... He wrings the nerves of his victims to add to his already swollen money bags. He is the worst man in London. See them slithered and slide.
Yes, is there nothing better we can do than spend our time here, Holmes?
Do you have any suggestions?
Well, confront him, challenge him.
The brain before the cudgel.
Meanwhile, just like him, he'll squeeze his victims till he...
You must eat, child. What's troubling you? Are you expecting someone?
No. I'm just thinking about my wedding.
You could always come in over the wall, throw pebbles at my window. My toes.
You have such a way with words.
All right. He wants him on guard. He's got loads of really valuable stuff in his study because he's an art collector. And he's afraid of burglars. You're a burglar.
Off you go.
Maximilian, I'll let you out. No, come here. Come here.
I'll get you, Escort.
It's around the corner.
Good heavens.
I needed information.
Surely you've gone too far.
Talks with her. Heavens, those talks.
But the girl.
Can't be helped, Oscar. One must play one's cards as best one can when such a stake is on the table. However, I rejoice to tell you that I have a Hages.
Huh? You like this weather?
She's here.
Yeah, arranged my season last year.
Give me your gloves. Oh, Mrs. Hudson, what do you think you're doing?
You haven't been out this morning, Mr. Holmes. And you don't have to be a detective to see that this young lady is recently up from a sickbed. Isn't that so, my dear? We must put some roses back in those cheeks.
Thank you.
The broth is an excellent idea.
Mrs. Hudson, will you vanish?
When I came down to London last year for the season, I broke off with him. I didn't realize how much I hurt him. He returned my letters, and I put them away in a trunk, which I keep with. Harry's so proud of me. It frightens me.
You found these letters?
Lily, yes. I trusted her. I cannot believe she could have betrayed me like this. A misfortune that befell a friend of mine, Charlotte, who was to have married a Colonel Dorking. Sent her some letters. They were very distressing. Lily and I were there when she received them. To think the same fate has befallen me.
It will be all right, Lady Eva.
What can you do? My marriage is on the 18th. He is demanding that the money be paid to him 4 days prior to the wedding on the 14th, on the day of the dance.
Dance?
Lord Dovercourt has arranged a wedding feast and invited half of London. I'm dreading it.
Now, if you will place yourself in my hands. Good, good.
Thank you.
My felicitations to your godmother.
Lady Eva, you must trust
her to come here alone. It is my belief that Lady Eva in common. Mr. Milverton.
Fell asleep. Johnson told me about your Uncle Charles. I'm so sorry. I stayed here to comfort Diana, but this house is so sad.
We'll call again at 6:30 CAM.
This gentleman, is it discreet?
Dr. Wilson is my friend and partner.
It is purely...
Dr. Wilson is already 30. No?
Oh, thank you. Then, to accept my terms...
What are your terms?
£7,000.
And the alternative?
My dear sir, it is painful for me to discuss it, but I can say that all this is done with the...
We are, of course, familiar with the contents of these letters.
Evidently do not know the Earl.
What harm is there in these letters?
Sprightly. Very sprightly. The lady was a charming correspondent, but I assure you the Earl of Dovercourt will fail to appreciate them. However, if you think otherwise, it's purely a matter of business. If you think it in the best interests of your client, then it would indeed be foolish to pay so large a sum of money.
You go too fast. We would certainly make every effort to avoid scandal in so delicate a matter.
I felt sure you would see it in that light.
Damn you! Turn the letters at the price we indicate, I assure you. It is the highest you can get.
Well, perhaps it's hardly fair to tell you to whom it belongs. Easily do. Simply by turning some of our diamonds into paste. It is such a pity. You may have noticed a small paragraph recently in the Morning Post. The sudden end of the engagement between the Honourable Miss Miles and Colonel Dorkin.
Yes. And its tragic consequences.
That was tantamount to murder.
How do you answer?
That is a monstrous assertion. It was you, and you alone, who caused his death.
And the sum involved, niggardly.
Indeed, a mere £1,200 would have settled the whole question. It's pitiful, isn't it? And yet here I find you, Mr. Holmes, a man of sense.
Be found.
Surely it would be better for you to take the substantial sum we offer than to ruin this young woman's career, which can profit you in no way.
There you're mistaken. An exposure would profit me indirectly to a considerable degree. I have 8 or 10 similar cases maturing. If it is circulated that I've made a severe example of Lady Eva, I shall find the rest much more open to reason. Do you see my point?
To see the contents of those letters.
I'd so often before.
Young Edward Croft, for one.
Croft?
The footman, Vike, who took the bullet that was rightfully yours.
You've done some work on me, and I'm perfectly prepared to use my weapons knowing that the law will support me.
You may well have your chance to test your assumption.
Mr. Holmes, surely you don't believe I'd be so foolish as to carry my livelihood here in my pocket?
Just making sure, Mr. Milverton.
Now, someone has dealt Milverton a blow.
An outraged husband. Just one of thousands in this great city who crave Milverton's destruction. And may yet beat us to it.
Holmes, I'm as fond of art as any man.
Oh, we've learned something about Milverton.
We've learned his ruthlessness, hardly a revelation.
We've learned of his...
Unsettled him.
We must exploit such things.
Wanton vandalism.
Any chink in the armor.
Mr. Holmes, this is my friend, the Honourable Charlotte Miles. Mr. Sherlock Holmes and his partner, Dr. Watson.
Lady Eva, may I speak privately to you?
Please accept our sympathy. Mr. Holmes and I are fully aware of your situation.
That is most kind of you, Dr. Watson, but one has to live with one's mistakes.
Please. Now, the next move requires your delicate cooperation.
I'll do anything you say, Mr. Holmes.
The dance in your honor.
On the 14th.
Ah, good afternoon. Mr. Stokes?
I told you I was not to be disturbed, girl. What is it?
It's Mr. Sherlock Holmes to see you, sir.
All right.
With perspicacity.
She begs one small favor.
What is it?
That the exchange be delayed until the 15th. The Earl has arranged a dance on the front. As agreed.
Here or at Baker Street?
Here, Baker Street.
Neutral ground, perhaps.
The Diogenes Club. You are a member. I could not abandon my client to her fate, Mr. Milverton. You are the victor. What a divine fragrance.
My late husband and I were something of a second family to her, so you see my concern. Hear the gossip and do his worst. What view does Mr. Holmes take of it?
Well, I'm sure he has something in mind, but he seldom confides in me till the last minute. Ah, Holmes.
Out. Mr. Holmes. If it is a question of paying the money...
That will not be necessary.
You can give assurance, then. Mr. Holmes.
Oh, Watson, these bills, they must be paid. Oh, incidentally, I managed to secure an invitation for us both to the Dovercourt dance. The house is some miles from London, but in reach for my purposes.
What purposes?
I intend to burgle the Milverton house that night.
For heaven's sake, Holmes, think what you're doing.
Well, let us look at it fairly and clearly. You will admit that the cause is morally justifiable?
Yes, technically criminal.
No more than raiding his pockets. A cause which you were perfectly willing to help me.
That was on the spur of the moment, not in the cold light of reason.
Reason! There's no easing to be done, Watson. Nothing to test my brain. You know me well enough. But I would never adopt so energetic a course.
That's monstrous, Holmes.
My self-respect and reputation are at stake. It's the only way.
Well, I don't like it. Any of it.
You have nothing to fear.
Eva!
Mrs. Hudson, why did... Shoes?
Take the usual precautions tonight, Hepworth.
I will. Risk here, Holmes.
Yes, indeed. We leave in 8 minutes.
Harry.
How strange. To see you here, Mr. Holmes.
Just mixing business with pleasure. There's no doubt you are.
Purely pleasure this evening, Mr. Holmes, I assure you. You will be keeping our appointment.
Servants are playing while the master's away. Holmes!
That's strange. No time to lose at the door.
At a more sociable time? Well, if you couldn't, you couldn't. If the Countess is a hard mistress, you have a chance now to get even with her. Bless the girl, what are you shivering about? What's better? Pull yourself together. Now then, let's get down to business. You say you have 5 letters which compromise the Comtesse d'Albert? You want to sell them? I want to buy them. So far, so good. It only remains to fix the price. Of course, I shall want to examine the letters. If they prove to be good specimens, then... Great heavens, is it you?
A woman whose life you have ruined.
You were so very obstinate.
Paris, 12
Why did you drive me to such extremities?
An episode long closed.
I had to fly of my own accord.
You waited for the moment when the stake was most worth winning.
What was I to do?
And so you sent the letters to my husband.
You would not pay.
A man whose boots I was never worthy to lace.
Oh,
you
Madam,
broke
I
his
do assure
gallant
you.
heart. I begged you for mercy, and you laughed in my face. As you were trying to laugh now.
Have
no
you
more
arrested?
hearts as you have wrung mine,
I
Charles
will make
Milverton.
allowance for your natural anger. Leave the room. You've done me.
Miss Winston, you're free.
£30? Thank you, sir. Have £30. 50. Have £50, sir. £60? 80. £80. 90. £90 against you, sir. At 90.
Mr. Holmes! Why has he smashed it?
I thought there might be something in it. I'm not unhappy to say that I was wrong. Thank you, Mrs. Holmes.
And why is it?
Sure. No, of course. There are certain aspects of which I am not proud. Please, bury this case deep in your pocket.